Carrying on from my previous rare minifigure video, I wanted to showcase some of the rarer Star Wars minifigures in my collection. I'll be sure to cover why these figures are rare, the cost of the figures, the sets that they come in, and any other interesting information about them as well. So let's get started. The first minifigure we have today is Pre Vizsla, a character that appeared in the Clone Wars animated TV show, and he of course wields the now famous Darksaber. This figure only appeared in one LEGO set, which was set number 9525, Pre Vizsla's Mandalorian Fighter, and so the figure is rare because of it only appearing in one specific LEGO set. But also it's rare because it has that unique shoulder element and some other exclusive pieces. And of course it's a very much fan-loved character. Next we have TC-14, a character who only briefly appeared in some of the opening sequences of The Phantom Menace. This figure appears in a poly bag as a promotional gift with purchase that you could only get on May the 4th, 2012. Because of this being a little bit more exclusive, it does make the figure fairly rare. It also has this beautiful silver chrome finish to it, which just looks lovely, and let's face it, if anything has chrome on it, it's very much desirable. Shiny is pretty. All in all, this figure is a little bit more rare. Of course, it's worth more if it's still inside the packaging, but why keep it in the packaging? That's boring. Take it out and appreciate it. Look how lovely it is. On to one of my favorite minifigures, we have Queen Amidala. This figure is just a beautiful recreation of the character featured heavily in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. It's awesome to see such a cool and unique dress element on this character, and also this fantastic hairpiece. It's just such a beautiful figure. Now this only appeared in one LEGO set, which was set number 9499 Gungan Sub. Because of that, it adds some value to the figure. Additionally, this version of the character is just highly sought after by fans, and of course demands a high price because of that. Up next we have the awesome Commander Wolffe, who is a fan favourite character who appeared in a few fantastic episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Many people love to collect clone troopers, and this of course adds to the value of the figure. Additionally, this figure only appeared in one LEGO set, which was set number 7964 Republic Frigate, which also came with another normal Wolfpack trooper, which is another very much desirable figure, but Commander Wolffe is worth just that little bit more. So if it's a clone commander of any of your favourites from the Clone Wars, you know fans are going to really enjoy it. On to another clone trooper, we have everyone's favourite Captain Rex. This is of course Rex in his Phase 2 armour, but of course the Phase 1 armour version of Rex also demands a very high price. Rex is one of the main characters of the Clone Wars TV show and is a widely loved fan favourite character, which of course makes him worth a fair bit. It's also been quite a while since we've got a Rex minifigure, which also does add to the price. Now once again, this figure only appears in one LEGO set, which is set number 75012 BARC Speeder with Sidecar. So of course, if it only appears in one set, it can affect the value. Not always. That's not always a surefire guarantee to a rare minifigure, but it certainly helps. Now for Count Dooku. Dooku is once again a very prominent character in the Clone Wars TV show, but he also appears in Revenge of the Sith and also in Attack of the Clones as well. Many regard this version of Dooku to be one of the best versions of the character. When you compare it to some of the older versions that we've seen of the character produced in LEGO form, of course the classic yellow version is very cool, but we also have the more sort of animated face version of Count Dooku, which just kind of looks a little bit creepy. So this version is just so nice. It's a perfect rendition of Christopher Lee's face and is just one of the more perfect versions of this minifigure. Once again, this figure only appears in one specific set. It is Duel on Geonosis, set number 75017. So all in all these different factors combined make this figure worth a little bit more. Up next is Agen Kolar, a figure that appeared in set number 9562, Palpatine's Arrest. Now this character appears in Revenge of the Sith for a very brief time before he's killed by Palpatine. But otherwise, he isn't in a whole lot of other Star Wars material. Regardless, that scene is very famous and very much loved by fans, which certainly helps, but also there are those who like to collect every Jedi figure or every sort of Force-related character, so this is one of those characters that's a little bit harder to come by, but is a must-have for every collector. This next character is simply called Jedi Knight. He's a character from the LEGO set number 75025 Jedi Defender class cruiser. This is a ship from the popular game Star Wars The Old Republic. The figure could well be a recreation of the character Kaosen Darach. They do of course look very similar, but given that the game allows you to kind of customize your own characters, you make your own in that sense, it's likely just meant to be more of a sort of default player character. The set this figure comes in has a lot of rare Star Wars figures in it, but this one was certainly the rarest. Now on to Zeb from Star Wars Rebels. Garazeb Aurelios is one of the main cast of the beloved Star Wars Rebels animated TV show, and he appears in another well-loved LEGO set, 75053, The Ghost. The ship The Ghost can be seen in both Rogue One as well as The Rise of Skywalker, and is rumoured to appear in the new Ahsoka show along with other members of the Ghost crew. Because of all of this, Zeb is very much desirable, especially since he only appears in this one more expensive set. So if you want to have the full lineup of the Ghost crew and everyone else from the Star Wars Rebels TV show, well, you need Zeb, and he's just a little bit harder to come by. Another thing that makes Zeb just that little bit more rare is that his torso is known to crack now and then. So if you want to find one in good condition that isn't cracked, it can be a little bit more difficult too. So you got to find one that's in good condition, that's for sure. Another figure is Grand Admiral Thrawn. He also appears in Star Wars Rebels, but he has many different canon and legend books that feature him as well. He's probably most well known from the Thrawn trilogy of books, which was written by Timothy Zahn and features the character very heavily. And because of these books, he's very much a fan favourite character. The figure only appeared in one set, which is set number 75170, The Phantom. The figure is also known to have an error on it. The rank insignia plaque on Thrawn's chest there is different to the source material. It's likely that the LEGO figure was based off concept art, and so at the time it was produced, it didn't unfortunately match up with the original show. Regardless, Thrawn is loved by many, and this is such an awesome figure. It's also incredibly likely he'll be in the new Ahsoka show as well, which will also affect the value of the figure. Now let's finish on a big one. We have the Chrome Gold C-3PO. This figure is very rare. This was made to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Star Wars back in 2007. There were only 10,000 of these figures made, and they were randomly inserted into some of the 2007 LEGO sets at the time. So in order to find one back in the day, you just had to be really lucky and buy a bunch of Star Wars sets. StarWars.com says that the odds of finding one of these were 250 to 1. A fun story with how I got this one myself: I was unfortunately never lucky enough to find one in the wild, but back in 2007, kind of around 2008, I was monitoring how much they were going for on eBay at the time. So after about a year of them being sold on eBay, eventually the price started to dip a little bit. So I ended up buying one on eBay at the time for about $55 US, which of course is a lot for one minifigure, but when you compare it to what they're worth today, I got an incredibly good bargain. And I think there's a good lesson there. If you want some of these rare minifigures and you don't want to pay a huge amount of money for them, you need to study the market. You need to constantly be looking online, in shops, in all sorts of different places, hoping you can find one. And you got to try and monitor the price as well. When's the perfect time to buy it? When is it dipping a little bit? And just use your better judgment. Of course, you got to be careful. Don't spend thousands of dollars or anything, but there's always going to be a good time. And who knows, you might snag a deal that you never expected you might get, but you got to be in it to win it. So that's it for some rarer Star Wars minifigures. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video where I cover even more rare Star Wars minifigures in my collection. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.